Hi everyone, my name is Paul with Newegg TV. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and a quick overview of the Kingwin Mach 1 1000 watt 80 plus bronze certified power supply. So for starters, there's a quick 360-degree rotational view of the box. Not a whole lot as far as documentation goes that we won't see just by opening up the power supply and seeing the cables that are included, but there is your Mach 1 user's manual. Here's a clamshell full of all of your modular cables. There is your standard AC wall power cord. And here's the Mach 1 itself, which comes nicely wrapped in bubble wrap. Alright, so there's the Mach 1, and what I'm going to start out with here is an overview of the modular cables that are included. Well, just so we can cover everything, let's start off with the permanent cables that are always attached to the power supply. We have our standard motherboard power connector there. That is a 20-pin plus 4-pin, so it will work for either 20-pin or 24-pin motherboard power. You also have an ATX 12-volt 4-pin power connector there, as well as an EPS 8-pin power connector right there. And that's it for the permanently connected parts. All right. These red ones here are PCI Express power connectors. It looks like they're giving you 2 of the 6-pin PCI Express power connectors and 2 of the 6 plus 2-pin PCI Express power connectors that can be used for either a 6-pin power plug or an 8-pin power plug. Here's a standard power adapter. These are molex plugs. There are 4 molex plugs on this extension, as well as a single floppy power plug. There is one more of those with 4 molex connectors, although this one does not have a floppy power connector. I'd like to point out that these molex connectors do have this handy little squeeze portion right there, which I can't stress enough how handy that is for a molex plug that you have plugged in that gets stuck. You can just squeeze on that and it will kind of push the molex plug out of the socket. So nice to have those sort of higher end molex power plugs there. Moving on, we have a Sata power extension. This one has 4 Sata power plugs, and then we have one more of those, again, with 4 Sata power plugs. And that will do it for the included modular power cables that come with the Mach 1. Alright, so here's a look at the power supply itself. There's the back grill for air to exhaust, and there's your AC plug and your power switch. Also advertising the active power factor correction that they have. There are the specs for the power supply itself. On the bottom is a 140mm LED fan, and we're going to turn that on in just a minute. The opposite side is a little chart showing you some power ratings and fan speed as far as temperature goes. The entire unit has a very clean sort of steel kind of carbon finish. It is not painted. And then finally, on the back here are our modular cable connectors. Now, the cable connectors are all covered with these little rubber grommets, and there are 2 types of connectors, and they are very specific here to make sure that you don't plug the wrong connector into the wrong port. So if you notice, these ports here have 4 prongs to them, and these ports have 5 prongs. So they want to make sure that whatever power cable you're plugging in can only go into the associated port. So there is our molex power plug that has a female slot with 5 little prongs. They're also notched, so you can only install it one way. The plug plugs in like that, and then it has a locking ring that you can screw down to secure that plug to make sure that even if you have any pressure or torque on that it's not going to come loose once you have it plugged in. Alright, so we've switched our lights off so we can show you guys how the LED works. There's the 140mm LED fan spinning up. It has a blue LED. Also nice to point out, This fan is very quiet. You can really barely hear it unless you have your ear right up against it. So nice to have a nice quiet LED fan on there. And then finally for your modular power plugs at the back, once you have a plug actually plugged in and installed, the area around that plug will light up so you can see which of your modular cables you have attached. All right, one last thing I forgot to point out, they do include a set of 4 thumb screws for mounting the power supply to your case, so that's a nice little touch. But that pretty much wraps it up for the Kingwin Mach 1 1000 watt 80+ bronze certified power supply. My name's Paul for Newegg TV. We'll see you next time, everyone.